Jean-Francois, are you a Cyndi Lauper fan?
Well, I agree that most girls just
Wow.
want to have fun. So,
So that makes
but
you a
not
fan, I
all,
guess. Yeah.
not
Not
all.
all. No, not
I've
all.
met some
Thank you for
don't care much for
Yeah,
it.
thank you for clarifying. Okay, let's talk about a couple of stories in the news. Starting with this one, I'm not sure if your head has stopped spinning here. On Thursday, during a meeting of the Standing Committee on Official Languages in Ottawa, Liberal Laval MP Angelo Iacono suggested Quebec could benefit from becoming officially bilingual. Say, Jean-Francois, what'd you think of that?
Well, Quebec will be much stronger, he said, like Canada. Like Canada. And so I said, well, did I miss something? Because I'm looking into statistics, and I saw that in the U.S., for instance, 21% of people speak two languages. That's okay. For all of Canada, it's 17%. But that's because of us, Quebecers. 44% of us are bilingual. So who's the runner-up? Well, it's Ontario at 11%. So we're four times as bilingual as Ontario. So this MP has been for 9 years MP for Northern Montreal, seems to believe that the place where he lives is less bilingual than the place where he works, which is Ottawa. Someone should set him straight.
Okay. Well, listen, if you take the other side of this coin, why not make it if we're doing so well at 44%, let's shoot for 70 or 80%.
Well, let's individual bilingualism is a great thing. It is a great thing. 96% of francophones outside Quebec are bilingual. 75% of Anglos in Quebec are bilingual.
You're here.
So that's good. So let's keep this up.
Okay. But he, of course, as you know, has received a great deal of backlash on this. You're being very kind here, and including Simon Jolin Barrette, who basically called it, I think I'm using the correct words, their term, a total lack of respect. Is it?
I said it was a clear case of crass linguistic ignorance. Because, of course, there's the distinction between being individually bilingual, which is a net gain, and being institutionally bilingual, which is not a gain if you're a minority. If you're a minority, you're trying to keep your language as the common language, although individually people speak two or three languages. And in fact, Montreal is one of the most trilingual cities in North America. But the equilibrium you have to make and try and keep a minority language alive, like Francophone Quebecers,
Mm-hmm.
and saying, no. We're a bilingual province. Everything can be in both languages. They're in the same level. Well, if you're living in the center of Europe, you could survive. But if you're 2% of Anglo North America, that would be a prescription to decline and folklorization, I would say.
Okay.
But the guy seemed to believe that Quebecers were not bilingual and that the Canadians were.
Yeah.
So,
I would think if you're out in Montreal North, I think most of the people out there probably do speak at least two, probably three languages, no?
three languages. Well, he does. He clearly speaks good French, English, and Italian.
Yeah.
And so he's blessed.
But doesn't see the reality of the rest of the country is what you're saying. Okay. Let me go to this other story today. So the Quebec Court of Appeal rejecting the CAC's challenge to the Superior Court ruling that exempted the EMSB from certain sections of the French language charter. It's another win for the EMSB. It's another, backhand from the court system here, from Superior Court, the appeals court here. They wouldn't even hear this appeal because they said there's no reason to. The EMSB was right, the CAC is wrong, yet they continue to introduce this sort of, legislation and don't mind going to appeal court every time they seem to lose. So is it time to maybe realize, you can't just by virtue of wanting to do something, go ahead and do it and impose your will on English school boards that have, guaranteed rights here?
Well, in this case, it's a very narrow victory because what the court is saying is that there's no emergency in overturning the ability of the school board to communicate in English with other English institutions. There's no emergency let's wait for the matter to be decided on its merits. On its merits, to my mind, the section of Bill 96 that forces an English institution to communicate only in French with another English institution is nonsensical, completely bonkers, and should be nulled and void immediately by the legislators themselves. I don't know why it exists. It's a lack of respect. It's a lack of civility. It's a lack of common sense. Bill 101 was framed in a way that cultural institutions, churches, and others could communicate in English only. I don't see why there would be overreach in that sense. And I think I'm a defender of French legislation, of pro-French legislation, but I think this kind of section undermines the credibility of the whole thing.
So, okay, you said a narrow victory, but it still seems like, and I understand it's not an emergency. It's interesting that never came up, actually, in the interview today earlier when he talked to David Hertel, but it's a victory nonetheless. You have
until it's settled on its merits.
Yeah, which seems, from what I've heard legally, if the court didn't even want to hear the appeal, it's unlikely this will actually go ahead and stay the case.
Well, it's difficult to say, but I think the shortcut for that would be for the National Assembly to simply rescind the section, and that would be it.
And how likely do you think that is to happen?
0%.
Right. Let me ask you one last thing before you leave. I noticed, and I can't remember what it was now because I think I saw this on Saturday. The Premier had something, and you posted on Twitter about, I think the translation would be, I'm so bored with this already. Do you remember what that was about? What did Francois Legault do or say that made you react that way?
I'm not sure I did that.
Yeah, I saw it, and I try again. I can't remember what the story was or what he had said or done, but that's how you reacted. I think Paul St. Pierre Plamondon had said something as well, but okay. You don't recall?
I'm very sorry.
I'm asking you to think of something Francois Legault did that you didn't like.
I never tweet or X while drunk, so I don't think
okay.
It doesn't come back.
Maybe I was. All right, we'll leave it at that then. Jean-Francois, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.